Hi, it's the M.L.M for this whole channel. I do have a new topic for today. Before I begin, I just would like to say, may the words and expressions of my mouth, and the thoughts and meditations of my heart find favor and acceptance before you, Hashem. And some people I thank you for inspiring me. Hope they can inspire you as well. We'll have links below this video to their sites there. Rabbi Shalom Arush, Rabbi Lezer Brody, Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi, Rabbi Eli Mansour, Rabbi Alon Anava, Rabbi Yuval Ovadia, Rav Daniel Asore, Nisan Baruch Black, David Sachs, Rabbi Michael Skobach, Jews for Judaism, Rabbi David Asher, Rabbi Ron Ruvain, and Rabbi Yosef Chesney. As well, if you've never checked out this channel before, I will have a link right below this video to my first video, which explains what M.L.M for the soul means, what it stands for, and what I am doing. So, this is for the upcoming Parashat Shoftim. And this is from the Tiferes Yosef and Rabbi Yosef Chesney. And I call this Focus on Self-Growth, One Step at a Time. So, this is of course him saying this. So, there was once a small group of men who founded a shul. Over the next few years, the shul exhibited slow but steady growth. A discussion ensued between the members of the shul if they should adopt a Rav, which is a rabbi. Some members felt that the shul was still, and shul as a synagogue, was still too small to have one. Others were of the opinion that it is important that they have someone leading and being responsible for the congregation. They decided to approach Rav Moshe Wolfson Shlita to obtain his sage advice. What he told them was remarkable. On the one hand, it is important for the shul to have a leader. On the other hand, the shul is yet small. The issue at hand is as follows. BeEzrat Hashem, which means with Hashem's help, with time the shul will grow by leaps and bounds. The figure you want as a Rav for the shul of 30 people is not the same person you would want leading the shul when it possesses 300 members. Yet you will be unable to replace him. Thus, there is a downside of hiring a Rav at this time. Rav Wilson concluded with a recommendation. You should appoint someone to lead the congregation, but he should not be appointed as Rav. Rather, position should be the Nasi. I forget how you explain the Nasi of the shul. I'll look that up and I'll include that below. I forget how you define that in English. The appointment should be for 2 years. Then the shul can reassess what is appropriate for them at the time. So the parasha instructs us to appoint leaders. Shoftim v'shotrim titein lach. The pasuk talks in singular tense. If we are only referring to appointing someone for the tzibur, that's for the congregation, should it not be written in plural form? Sfarim answer, which are different, Sfarim is books, Judaica, answer that the Torah is giving this instruction to every Yid. Yid is a Jew. We must be our own personal shofet, deciding what action is appropriate for us, and then to be our own shoter, to ensure that our decision is brought to fruition. Many people assess their situation early in life and decide what to expect from themselves. Unfortunately, many times we never reassess our situation to decide what behavior is now appropriate for us. In this respect, we must be our own Rav. We must ensure that we do not give ourselves the same guidance at 25, 35, and then 65. I would expect, because things change when you go through different generations, so I would expect it would be different, but, some people don't do that. With time, we grow and we must expect more from ourselves. This applies to all areas of life. Rav Shach was once delivering a shiur, which is a lecture, in Panaviz. He asked a question and then stated a direction how to reconcile the issue at hand. And then he began to explain it. Suddenly a Talmud, which is a student, interrupted and stated, when we learned this last cycle, the Rosh Yeshiva, which is the head of the yeshiva, the school, stressed that this direction lacks validity and cannot be used to answer the question. Rav Shach responded, do you think I am the same laser Shach of 7 years ago? I have shteiged and I am a different person now. I forget what shteiged means, worked on it. But again, I could look that up, because he uses Rabbi Chesney words that I think you might not always know the meaning of. That's why I explain what they are. So I'll look that up as well and put it below. Today I feel that this is a valid direction to pursue to answer this question. We are not the same person we were even 1 year ago. Thus, we need to reassess what we are now capable of. The pasuk says, "Ki ha'adam eitz hasadeh." Pasuk is the verse. Man is compared to a tree. A tree exhibits consistent growth. Every year it gets bigger and produces more fruit. We must have this trait as well. Our Gedolim, which is our leaders, Gedolim is like the great ones, exhibit this attribute. Rav Isser Zalman Meltzer once expressed that whenever he saw his son-in-law, Rav Aaron Kotler, he did not recognize him because he grew so much spiritually. Indeed, our Gedolim no matter what level they achieve, constantly strive for greater heights. Rav Elyashiv says that this is the defining factor of a true gadol. When a gadol stops growing, they cease to be considered a gadol. Life is the greatest teacher. When we encounter difficult situations, we are forced into growth. A gadol doesn't wait for these situations to arise. He constantly focuses on self-growth. He works on breaking his midos, which is his traits, his character traits, and on improving his level of bitachon, which is his trust and closeness to Hashem. His trust. We are alive in order to break our bad midos. If we fail to improve on our own, Hashem will send us situations that will force change upon us. Perhaps if we grow on our own accord, Hashem won't need to send us difficult situations to make us grow. So meaning if we do it on our own, we won't need to have that. So when it comes to growth, there is one pitfall that we have to be wary of. Whenever we scrutinize our actions with the earnest intentions to grow, the Yetzer Hara, which is the evil inclination, gets involved and tries to foil our plans by making us go to an extreme. He tells us just how much we are lacking and how much we must perfect. He commits us to become a tzaddik, which is a righteous person, overnight. Obviously, when we go to such an extreme, our body fights it, and it is thus unsustainable growth. The Gra, which is the Vilna Gaon, says that we need to grow slowly, one step at a time. This way, we are expanding our capacity instead of going beyond it, which is unsustainable. So meaning if you've veered a certain direction, maybe it isn't the best for you as a Jew, then you want to come back, or if you're new to it, to just kind of jump in both feet first without really taking your time to get into it again or to start, you could collapse even further and go even further to the wrong derech, the wrong way. So, like he says, best take your time. Don't let your heart convince you. Oh yeah, you need to do these things real quick because maybe there are some people who can do that, but it's very rare, especially in this day and age. So, take the steps. You have to keep doing it every day. Like if you're improving, don't just say, okay, I'll take one step now and then I'll wait like 6 years and take the next step. You might not have enough time because, you might not be here. So what it is, it's a progression. Like every day, take another step. If you're trying to improve your tznius, you're keeping Shabbos, you're even a person who keeps Shabbos right. If you don't know all the halachas, you got to study it and know, oh, I didn't know this, I did that, I did it this way. Okay, I have to improve that. So you have to keep working on it. So I think that's very important. And I hope that we will all merit to live and see the coming of Mashiach speedily in our days and the rebuilding of our final and everlasting Beit HaMikdash. Amen. And thanks for watching.